Hey everybody! Today you are in for an absolute treat as I'm going to be going over our 2-week trip that we took this past fall where we visited parks such as Grand Tetons, Glacier, and Yellowstone. But this is going to be a long video. I normally edit out all my yapping, and I think in this one we're going to try something different and we're going to leave most of it in. So we'll see how that goes. So you've been warned. If you don't want to listen to me yap, this is your chance to go ahead and just mute this video. But I would say still watch it because there are some gorgeous landscapes and things that we are going to be seeing and doing. So at least give yourself that if you don't want to hear me talk for this entire time. To kick things off, we flew into Salt Lake City, we grabbed our rental, and we started the 4.5-hour drive over to Jackson, Wyoming, which is where we stayed for the first couple days while we were checking out Grand Tetons National Park. The first thing we tried to tackle was to hike Delta Lake, so I'll go ahead and let you guys see how that went. First trail. Any words, Keem?
Yeah. Someone's gonna have to save this bitch.
Hopefully not. Delta Lake, 7.5 miles. Let's see. Yeah. Don't pet any of the elk or the fluffy cows. Made it to 3 Mile Junction, ran into a park ranger, told us not to go to Delta Lake. What? So now we're heading into some canyon that we're not really sure how to get to. Hopefully it was an actual park ranger. Still might have been swindled. We'll find out. Keem?
Whoa!
Maybe this is what he meant.
Yeah, that's all he's talking about. Hey, you want to watch me pass up that slide?
Sure. Don't do this.
What if the whole thing comes apart?
He's like, how dare you?
What are you whining about?
He's doing the Rex whine.
Bird.
He's getting back on the trail. Don't let the smile fool you. I'm dying. It was rough. A little over 8 miles and about 1,800 feet climbed, and we did not make it to Delta Lake. So at this point, I was in pain. After getting my butt handed to me, trying to do this hike, we decided to take it easy for the rest of the day, and we hung out around town and saw a movie. The next morning, I did wake up early and headed out to Schwabacker's Landing, if I'm saying that correctly, for sunrise. And as you can see, I definitely was not the only person out there. So trying to find a spot for the scenery and not have people in it was a little difficult, but so worth it because this area was just absolutely gorgeous. It is It is a favorite for photographers, and I think it's pretty easy to see why it's such a favorite spot. You're able to come out here at pretty much like any point of the day and enjoy how it all looks. So sunrise, sunset are all great times, but if you can't get out here during those times, at least try and come out and just experience it yourself. It's a very easy place to get to. You just park in the parking lot that's right next to it, and you take this really, really short walk right up to the spot. So, very accessible. No hiking involved to get there. You literally just take your car, park, get out, and you are pretty much right there. The hardest part, if you're there during one of these like popular times, is just trying to find like a spot that you like. After heading back to the hotel, we got ready for the big adventure of the day, which was actually whitewater rafting. And if you've watched my previous videos, you know that the first time we tried whitewater rafting was during our Alaska trip in Denali, and we absolutely loved it. So of course I had to squeeze that in while we were in the Tetons. So during this whitewater rafting trip, I was given the opportunity to ride the bull, which is essentially you just riding in the very front of this raft. And I'm so happy I ended up doing it, because when they first asked if anybody did this, I definitely was like, do I really want to embarrass myself like this? But your girl did it. And I'm so happy I did. And I don't have any videos of this, but we did get plenty of pictures. So I'll just throw those on for you to see so you can see how it went. And if you have the opportunity to do this, I definitely recommend you do it. It was like my favorite thing by far. It was so fun. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Before leaving Grand Tetons, we did hit up a couple other scenic spots, including Oxbow Bend and the Snake River Overlook. And again, these are also places that you can literally just pull your car up and get out and enjoy the scenery. So no hiking involved whatsoever. Very accessible spots. So if you are worried about stuff like that while you're visiting the national parks, the Grand Tetons is actually a great spot to go.
Man. Look, this is Snake River. The reason it's called Snake River is because it slithers like a snake into Cora's butthole. Asshole. Hentai. Why don't we get an RV for it? We're renting an RV right now.
Yeah.
First one you said I would. Now we're on the second GoPro. Still nothing. Do you have a video right now? You taking a video again?
I was trying to take pictures, but
you took a video. Now do something crazy. Throw your shoe into the water.
no,
Why not? Just do it.
no,
Don't think about it.
no.
Look, take your flip flop off and throw it in. Yeah. Pussy. I hear a moose. Stupid ass looking stupid bitch with her stupid toes and her stupid I don't want the fucking sand. Stop right there. I look like Jesus Christ. Are you supposed to do anything stupid? How do boogers taste? The fuck? Is this thing on? She's mad.
After we spent the rest of the day sightseeing and doing stuff like that, unfortunately, the next day we were already heading out and starting our 8-hour drive up north, heading to Glacier National Park. And I'm going to go ahead and spoil this now. Glacier was my absolute favorite. 5 days is not enough in Glacier. So if you are planning a trip and you are a hiker, I definitely recommend at least a week or so. So as soon as we made it to Glacier, we drove a little ways into the park to do a quick little section of hiking before it got dark. We were also lucky enough to see a bear on the side of the road.
Bro, if this bitch starts fucking moving this way, I'm literally hightailing out of here. He's looking straight at us. Mr. Bear.
It's so cute.
It's not cute. It literally kills people.
You're not stupid.
Yeah, well, what we're doing is stupid. We're about fucking 15 yards away from one.
No.
I can throw a football that far. And I can't throw. Mr. Bear. Is that it? Alright, bye. There's a lot of traffic.
Yeah, like this.
Like this? I can't get your feet like this though.
That's fine.
Look at me, boo. Look at me. Trying to make sure my finger's not in the video. Just your little teeny tiny head that I'm gonna squish, 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 squish. Fucking sick if we did that.
No.
Yeah. Well.
The water's so pretty.
Stop moving.
The next day, we headed up to Mini Glacier Hotel so that we could get ready for our Grinnell Glacier hike. Go ahead, keep him getting the video.
We should teach them how to. We should take a video of all the old ladies trying to learn how to kayak. So if you wanna go straight, you gotta paddle both sides. If you wanna go to the right, you gotta paddle on the left side.
Why are you such a dick?
Come on, Dick. Look at them. They're like flopping fish. I wanna go dip them. Dip them. Not gonna be good.
Here, go.
Ah. It wasn't flat. Alright, this one, I got you.
All right.
Ready?
Yep.
This is gonna be like 15 skips.
I think that was 2.
2. Alright. Now that was a joke. Now this, 37 skips.
2.
Okay.
Are you camera shy?
Yeah. This one.
Oh God.
It's like a big Beyblade. Grip it and grip it.
Yeah, 2 is like your max.
Are you trying to pose? You trying to look cute?
Yeah.
Ugly ass bitch. Look at the grass. Look at the sky. Look at the quarry. Look at the ground. Look at the grass. Look at the trees. That'd be a booty streamer.
So for the Grinnell Glacier hike, you're able to get ferry tickets, but you have to buy them in advance and they have you pick a time slot as well. So the only thing that was available when I did this was the 2 p.m. time, which I was already a little nervous about because I wasn't sure if we were going to be able to do the hike and make it back for the last ferry, which I believe at that time was like 5 p.m. We were also a little nervous too because the weather was not cooperating. So when we originally made it out to Mini Glacier, we had noticed that the weather was calling for rain in the afternoon. So after we grabbed breakfast, we kind of just decided to say, heck it, we're gonna go ahead and just forego the ferry and start the hike ourselves, especially since it kind of seemed like it was clearing up a little bit and a lot of people were heading out on the trail. We figured it was best to just try our luck. And I'm so happy we did because Grinnell Glacier to this day is still my favorite hike that we did. And I was nervous based on how Delta back in the Tetons had kicked my butt, but this one I was able to do with no issues. We did get very lucky with the weather too, as it didn't start to rain until we had completely made it out to the glacier. So at that point, all we had to do was make our way back. And this trail, when it's an out and back, and getting out there obviously is just like a continuous incline. So coming back down was a lot easier and a lot better to manage with the rain as well. We also made great time and ended up making it back in time to catch the last ferry out. So we didn't end up having to do the complete hike back to the hotel, which was good. But if you do make it out to Glacier National Park yourself, I definitely recommend checking out Grinnell Glacier hike. I do believe it's probably one of the most popular hikes in that park, so don't pass it up.
Look, it's a big piece of ice.
We made it!
I made it!
Woo!
There you go.
The next couple of days we dealt with rain off and on, but we did make the most of it. We spent the time exploring some areas right off going to the Sun Road, and we also spent time at Lake McDonald. We did rent kayaks for Lake McDonald, and honestly, it wasn't my favorite. They were sit-in kayaks, and so we were barely above the water, which was kind of freaking me out. It was also raining, and then they have tour boats that are going, and so anytime you got hit with any kind of wave from a boat passing you, I don't know. I had never been in a sit-in kayak before that moment, and I definitely realized that they are not my favorites. If I had known that those were the type of kayaks beforehand, I probably would have either opted to rent like a paddle boat. Even if you don't do that though, I definitely recommend checking out Lake McDonald. You've probably seen pictures of it, whether you realized it or not. If you Google Glacier National Park, famous rocks, you will more than likely be hit with all kinds of pictures of Lake McDonald, as that is where you can find the fruity pebble like rocks on the shore. And so it's a very cute area. The Lake McDonald Lodge is also right there too. So you could always stay there if you want to be on the west side of the park. So another thing I want to talk about is going to the Sun Road, which I had mentioned before is the only way that you can get from one side of the park to the other. And it is not for the faint of heart. I was lucky, and Kareem actually did all the driving for us while we were on this road. There's definitely some tight spots in some areas. We were on the east side in St. Mary's, and I'm going to kind of use like Logan Pass as like the halfway point for going to the Sun Road. But from St. Mary's to Logan Pass is pretty doable. I was able to do that section no problem. But from Logan Pass to the Lake McDonald area is not that easy. If you are heading from Logan Pass to West Glacier, you're going to be on like the mountain side, and there are definitely parts of that road where if cars are not staying on their side, you're right up against the side of the mountain, and so that isn't fun. And then if you are coming from West Glacier heading to Logan Pass, you are on the outside where it is just a steep drop, and there are sections of the road that don't have the guardrail there. And yeah, so I mean, it's a very pretty drive, and if you can handle stuff like that, then go for it. We did it a couple times just because that's how our itinerary kind of worked out for us. But they also offer red bus tours, which were running constantly while we were there, and they're very popular. So if you want to do that, definitely recommend it.
Go back to posing cute like. That's not cute. Yeah, that's cute. Wait, no, over the shoulder does not look cute.
It's not cute.
Turn around. Turn around. Arms in the air. Now give me your money. My love. My blue bear. There's the loser right there. She's a loser. She sucks. Whoa.
Whoa.
Oh. Oh, I see it. Is that it?
All the way.
And then where does it
That
go?
way.
And where to? No, you're good.
Wow. 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 Amazing. All right, so the final park that we visited on this trip was Yellowstone, and I know there's some diehard Yellowstone fans out there, but Kareem and I were very underwhelmed with this park. And it might have to do with a couple things. I mean, the Tetons and Glacier were obviously very pretty, but Yellowstone it just felt very touristy. The first night we went out there was cool. We went and saw Old Faithful, which, I mean, if you're anything like me, I remember being a kid in school and having the Old Faithful like live feed up and watching it erupt. And so I was very excited to finally see this in person. Going into the park was interesting the first time. So there's a very good section of the park where you're driving around and all you see is steam coming out of the ground because of all, the active like geysers in the area. And that's interesting just to kind of see the ground smoking like that. Huh?
That tiny little hole? How small that hole is?
How small is the hole?
This small. This small. Right here. It's smaller than Corey's butthole. Where is it? Oh, I see it. It's sputtering.
I think the biggest issue that we had with Yellowstone was that traffic was awful. Everywhere we tried to go, we were running into traffic. Yellowstone, it's just like a one-lane road each way that takes you around the park. And so all it takes is one person blocking the road. And all of a sudden now you're stuck for hours in one spot doing nothing. And the first night we went, after we saw Old Faithful, we were heading back to our hotel, and we came across a group of people that were all parked on the side of the road, standing out and pointing out into the woods. And so we looked over, and we saw a huge grizzly out. And so that was cool, seeing a grizzly bear, because obviously you don't see that every day. But we soon realized that people would behave like this for pretty much any animal they saw. We were staying in West Yellowstone, and there was consistently this one elk that was just sitting next to the entrance. And I kid you not, every day that we were trying to leave the park, it took over an hour to get out because the people were just gawking at an elk.
It's been the bane of my existence.
And I'm sorry. I know I don't see elk every day in Florida, but I grew up in Illinois where I saw deer all the time, and there are still deer in Florida, and an elk is just an oversized deer. But the amount of people that would just like stop their car in the middle of the road to point and take pictures of this elk, it was too much. And not only that, but every time we did try and make a stop somewhere, we were immediately followed by multiple tour buses that would just have hordes of people getting off of it. And at that point, you know, it doesn't feel like nature anymore. It feels like a tourist attraction. And so that got old very quickly, trying to walk around these areas and fight for a good spot to see anything. Looking back, that is kind of what Yellowstone feels like at this point. Yellowstone is more for those who just want to see things. The Tetons were nice because there was hiking as well as scenic areas. Glacier was obviously nice because, again, there was so many beautiful things, but there was also so much hiking to do. Whereas Yellowstone kind of just felt like the whole purpose of it was for you to just drive around, find a spot, sit and watch. And we were okay with that for a day, but unfortunately, my itinerary I had planned, we were there for 4 days. And so I definitely could have switched out a day or two in Yellowstone and done more time in Glacier and been so much happier. But I also maybe think that the weather just really wasn't helping us in Yellowstone. We did try and go see attractions like the Grand Prismatic Spring, but we were just getting smacked in the face with steam, and like we really couldn't see anything because of how it was still, you know, just raining and there was just steam everywhere and fog. And then the Mammoth Springs were very underwhelming too. And the one cool thing that happened is we did hear that all the bison were kind of hanging out in the valley. And so we did drive out to the valley and we ended up getting caught in traffic there. But that was kind of cool because the bison were walking across the road and they ended up walking right in front of us. No.
That one right there. It's very rideable.
The little baby?
Little baby would kill it.
The one in the lead? The alpha? Yeah, no.
You lost me 6 minutes.
Shh. Don't yell. They have horns.
So what? What the? That one's looking at me. Corey, that one's looking at me. No, I can't move.
Aw. The whole family.
God, they're so ugly. That one looks like Mo when he puts straw in his mouth.
And so it was cool to get that footage. But again, we could have done all of this in a day or two. And so having to try and entertain ourselves for 4 days just was kind of a nuisance. But I don't know. I mean, the more people I've talked to, the more it seems like we may just have not had it with the weather. I don't know. But yeah, Yellowstone very underwhelming. Not one of my favorites at all, unfortunately. Overall thoughts? Obviously my favorite was Glacier. I would definitely go back and spend more time in Glacier. There were plenty of hikes that we didn't even get to do. So if I was to go back, I still would have like a week's worth of things that I could go check out. And I would probably do it at a different time of year so we do have better weather, since it did rain for a lot of the time while we were there. The Tetons I would definitely go back to as well. Try and tackle Delta Lake again. And probably some of the other hikes as well once I get used to the elevation. Yellowstone, I wouldn't say I don't recommend going to Yellowstone because, again, it's a cool thing to see, but definitely recommend less time at Yellowstone and just be prepared that it's not as adventurous as some of these other national parks are. But overall, I really enjoyed our 2 week trip. I'm happy that I planned it the way I did and that Kareem was game to do everything. Honestly, having him around definitely made the trip very fun. And hopefully, you guys enjoyed the footage as well, since I did end up keeping a lot more of our original footage in this video. So, 2 weeks, Grand Tetons, Glacier, and Yellowstone. Super fun, big success. That will do it for this video, and I will catch you guys in the next one.